Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. We are learning Maseches Kiddushin Daf Nun Zayin Amud Beis. Nun Zayin Amud Beis. We are going to repeat something we saw yesterday. The topic of the Shiur that we have in Maseches Kiddushin Nun Zayin Amud Beis. That is the second line. Nun Zayin Amud Beis. We're learning about the Tzipoire Metzoiro. There are two birds that were part of a rite, a ceremony that was done to the Metzoira. When the Metzoira was outside the Machane, and he wanted to bring him into the Machane, once he got better, the Tzaras ended. So what does he have to do? The Kohen has to bring two birds, one live bird, two birds are alive, one bird he shechts, the other bird stays alive, and he sends it over a field far away to freedom, and then the Metzoira with other things in the middle, and then the Metzoira is already kosher, partially kosher, you can come back to town. So now the Gemara said that the tzipor, the bird that's shechted, is also ba'ano, you can't gain any benefit from it, and the tzipor that's alive, the one that flies away, is the one that the people are allowed to eat, shecht, eat, have ano and everything. And the Gemara asked, how do you know? How do you know? He doesn't say it mufurish outright. How do you know that the bird that's shechted is the one also ba'ano, and the one that's sent to freedom and flies away, how do you know that that bird is mutar ba'ano? The one that flies away, you'll fly after it. It'll eventually get tired. You'll chop it, and then you'll shecht it and eat it when Mashiach comes. So now, so what was the reason? The Gemara wanted to say, because it's not, we never found a live animal that is osir. It doesn't make sense. Misvoro, from general knowledge, lo metzinu, we didn't find such a thing in the Torah that an animal while alive is always osir forever in hano, echila in hano. While it's alive, you can't have an o with it. No, lo metzinu such a thing. Now, I mean, achila, you obviously need shchita, but even hano, while it's alive, right? You can't be mekadesh a woman. That's what we're trying to say with an animal, with a bird that flies away. Why not? In other words, so we say, lamatzinu, it's not common that animals, while alive, there's an isra hano in them, right? Both are b'cholov, the both are what's shechted, right? Or loikilaim, they're not animals. And the animal that's alive is usually mutar ba'ano. Okay, except for kochim. Kochim, we're not talking about kochim. We're talking about chulin. Matkif lo Rabbi Yirmiyah. Rabbi Yirmiyah attacks that opinion. Rabbi Yirmiyah challenges and asks, Rovea v'nirba be'edim. Rovea v'nirba. Rovea is an animal that had relations with a woman. Nirba is the animal that had relations with a man, both involved in bestiality. Be'edim. Be'edim means there were two witnesses who watched it. The two witnesses that testify in BSD that this took place, not only you give skila to the person, you also give skila after you judge. You do din. There's a verdict for the animal. Some say with 23 people, and then 23 dayanim, and then you cycle the behema as well, out of respect to the dead person or his family or her family. So now you see over v'nir b'beidim, the balichaim ninhu. They are alive, meaning even though they were not shechted, but once we know with two edim that they committed bestiality, they are also ba'ano. It says there they're also ba'ano. If so, if you know that they're also ba'ano, we have live animals that are also ba'ano. Eventually, you'll cycle them, but until then, they're already also ba'ano. So we asked the question yesterday, why don't we mention Shor Niskal? Who's Shor Niskal? The show that killed a person, a show that killed a person, a bull that killed a person, gored or kicked a person to death. What do we say? That we kill him also. And once his verdict was already decided, he's also ba'ano. Why did we mention that? I saw the Ritva answers, two answers. First of all, we prefer bringing two cases. Rovea and Nirba are two, while Shor Niskal is only one. So Rovea and Nirba, Rovea and Nirba, what are they? Or two, we prefer bringing more cases. To try and prove our case, look, we have more cases. Also says the Ritva, big Chiddush, that Roveh v'nirba, similar to Muktzeh and Nebad, which was the previous case, they are also even before the Gemar Din. Wow. If you know there was an animal that was in bestiality involved, you're not allowed to ever know, even before Beis Din decided that. The Sheikh and Shor and Iskal is only after the decision of Beis Din. That's why I bring Roveh and Nirba, because they're more severe, more strict, even before the Gemar Din, they're already also. And says the Gemara, Ela Rabbi Yochanan, Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Lo Matzinu Roiv Ba'alechaim Shasurim. Which means, most cases, not all, there are exceptions to the rule. Sometimes you have an animal who's alive, and yet it's also ba'ano. That's the shore. Niskal for an animal killed, animal in bestiality, but these are rare cases. It's not a common case. And therefore, now this is my addition. I'm adding a svara now. How did the question begin? Remember, there were two psukim. One pasuk says to include, to aser. The other pasuk said to allow, right? Now, it's like a math formula. You have an x and a y, two variables, right? And you know that one of them is 100, one of them is 50. You have to work it out. So we know that one of them has to be osur ba'ano. Out of the two, live or dead, makes sense that dead, we found more dead animals osur ba'ano, such as basar b'cholav l'mashal, more than a live animal. I think that's the answer. That's roiv. Get what I'm saying? Since we anyhow have to fit into the two boxes, mutar bano, osur bano, makes more sense to say that the one that is shechted is osur bano rather than the one that's alive osur bano, because alive osur bano is quite rare, quite an exception. And that's how we know. That's answer number one. How we know that the animal that flies away is mutar bano. The one that's shechted is the one you're not allowed to have any benefit. Now that's one answer. The very Shmuel Tanner. Another answer from the Besmedrash of Rabbi Shmuel, it says, the Omer Kro. It says in the Pasuk, if you noticed, when we read the Psukim yesterday, the Shilach, and then it says, V'shilach es tzipor achayo al pnei asode. He should send away the animal, the live bird, over the field. Why do you say over a field? And if it's not a field, and if it's a vineyard, and if it's a city, why does the Torah have to say that it's over a field, giving us a picturesque kind of scenario? Answers the Gemara, you know why? Kisode. The Torah compares the bird to the sode. The bird is like a field. Maso de muteres, just like a field is always mutar ba'ano, it's mechubar lekarka. A field normally is something you can benefit and enjoy. Afainami muteres. So to the bird, like the field, the bird that is sent over the field is a bird that is going to be allowed, mutar, kosher, enjoyable, just like the field itself. Correct? The Gemara. Is that so? The Gemara challenges. I sode lahachiyuda also. Are you telling me that the word sode comes for this? You're telling me that the extra word sode, field, is coming to allow the bird ba'ano? Ahumi ba'ile kedetanya. This is necessary for something else. It's necessary for another kedetanya, to what? It's necessary for, as the Brisa says, there's another halacha you learn from the word l'sode. What's halacha? Sode. The Torah requires a field, excluding what? Shelo yamod b'Yafo v'yizreken al hayam. Oh, Yafo, look, Yafo is mentioned in the Gemara. Where's Yafo? By the sea, right? Yeah, Yafo is by the sea. Yafo is near Tel Aviv. So Yafo, let's say a person stands in Yafo. Who went from Yafo with a boat? No? Yoine, right? He went from Yafo with a boat. Le'amod be'Yafo, bad influence, Yafo. Shele'amod be'Yafo, v'yizrekena layam, and he should not throw it. In other words, he should not send it over the sea. Yeah, the bird should not be sent to be flying over the sea, the Mediterranean. B'Gvas, don't stand in Gvas, which is a city in the desert, like Beersheba, Arad. B'Gvas v'yizrekena lamidbar. Yeah, and they should not fly, make it fly, let it free, set it free over the desert. Interesting. So it shouldn't be over the sea, shouldn't be over the desert, the flight of the bird. Don't stand out of town and throw it. In other words, let it free, set it free over the city, over Bet Shemesh. Ela kol sho'emet ba'ir v'yizreken chutz lechoimo. Oh, very interesting. The Kohen has to stand in town, inside the city, and should throw it out of the city to a place which is, I would say, semi-populated. Not the desert, not the sea, a place where you have fields, forests, things like that, where people somehow live in, or to do places of vegetation. Those places, a Kohen should stand and throw it over there. Toises asks the question, how could that be? How can the Kohen be inside the Choima? Where is the whole ceremony taking place? Clearly, outside. How do you know? No, the dead, the Mitzvah, I mean. That's what the Mitzvah, that's what the Mitzvah is. Mitzvah is like dead, you're right. The Mitzvah is out of town. So what's the Kohen doing in town? Answers to Issurey Hana'a. When they finish what I call the ceremony, when they finish the Seder Advarim, the Mitzvah stays outside. Then the Kohen goes into town, where the wall is, and then the Kohen stands there and frees the live bird into out of town. Interesting. Yeah. That's what they do. In any event, so the word besode is not free, is not available for us to learn that just like the sode is okay, so too the bird is okay, meaning mutrabano. It's really coming to tell me, you have to release the bird over a field, over a kind of semi-populated area. So the word is not available. And says the Gemara, the other person will tell you, no, if there's only one thing to learn, it would be sode. My ha sode shma minotati. As the Gemara does many, 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 many times, the letter hey is like a whole new word, like in English, the field. 2 words, the field. Field is coming to tell you that the bird should really be released over a field. The field is coming to tell you, just like the field is kosher and allowed ba'ano, the sod is always okay, the ground is never osir, even if it's worshipped over the Zorah, as we said. So to the bird is always okay, sent over the field. That's why the bird that's released is kosher v'yosher. Yeah, hi, good morning. We are in right before the 2 dots in Zayin Amud Beis, not very top of the page, right before the first 2 dots. Rove Omar. Line starts with the word Omar. It's about, I don't know, I think 15 lines. Rove Omar, loy Omar Torah shalach letakolo. Rove says, Esvore. Esvore me'atzmoi, from his own mind, from his own brains. Says Rove, yeah, you found it? Says Rove, we don't need any psukim. It just makes sense to me. The Torah would not ask a Kohen or anybody else to create a stumbling stone, to create a halachic hazard, yeah, like you have safety hazard. When the Torah would say, let's say the Torah said, the bird that's being sent, no, don't touch, don't enjoy, don't play with it, don't rub it against your whatever, shoulder, don't shecht, for sure, treif, also. What are you doing here? The bird is sent, as Yitzchak was jokingly saying, but you're right. When the bird flies away, I don't know where it's going to fly from to, it's going to end up in Japan. I don't know where. Some birds can fly very far, all the way from Denmark to South Africa. It's a lot, yeah? So maybe that bird's going to end up, I don't know where. The person has no idea it's a tipor mitzorah. How do you know? Because of the few drops of blood, they dried many times ago already. So you're basically telling me you're creating an isser that surely, or very likely, people will be over. Person will find a nice bird, nice fat bird, flying around, he'll catch it, don't worry. He'll shecht it and eat it. It's kosher, it's a dove. What's the problem? Your mom is creating a takala. Doesn't make sense the Torah would create a takala. How did it translate takala? Stumbling stone. Oh, very good. Very good. That's what I said. Weiter. Bekitzer, so which bird is osir? The geshechted. And which bird is mutter? The one that's into the freedom. Very nice. I think the message is, I don't know much about the Ashkofa of Metzora, but I think somebody says the idea of the Metzora is you can have good speech and bad speech. Like the birds, they always represent speech because they tweet all the time. Like today, there's a thing called Twitter, right? Everyone tweets all around except for me. I don't have Twitter. Yeah, so you tweet. You can tweet good things or bad things. There's like a dead bird and a live bird. The dead bird is also bano, it's Lashon Hara. And the live bird is free. You're only free when you say Lashon Toiv. When you say good things, then you're a free person. Weiter. B'se'ar nozir. The next item in this very important list of Issurey Hana'a, we have here a very comprehensive, ample list of all Issurey Hana'a of the Torah. You should be happy. Next time we're going to see it only in Psachim, I think. Even then, I'm not sure the whole thing. Bese'ar Nozir, the hair of the Nozir, after 30 days or more, at least 30 days of Nazirus, the Nozir goes to Beis HaMikdash. He too brings 3 korbanos, no Osham, but he brings, and Nozir does bring Osham when he failed in the middle. But if it's the end of the process, it does bring Osham. He brings 3 korbanos, and he also has to shave his entire hair, the hair of the head, of his head, and then he takes the hair, he places it under the pot where they cook the meat of the shlomim. Okay, that's a Se'ar Nozir. Se'ar Nozir has a certain level of kedusha, not kedusha like a korban, but he gives his gaiva, which is hair. Hair represents gaiva. He gives it to Hashem. He gives Hashem all his gaiva, all his beauty. He gives it to Hashem. The Se'ar Nozir, minolan. How do we know? How do you know that Se'ar Nozir is also bano? Kodosh. Oh, it's pronounced kodosh, but it's spelt without the vav. The Gemara is going to stress that very much later. It says in the pasuk, Kodosh ye gadel pera se'ar roishoy. In other words, the pera se'ar roishoy, the exposed or whatever. Pera either means exposed hair. Pera also means like a hair that wasn't combed. Either two. A Nozir is not allowed to comb his hair. Not only not to cut it, no. So the first Gemara on Shabbos, he can't comb his hair because, like on Shabbos, he can't comb your hair. Lucky you have what to comb, So say thank you to Hashem. But I can't comb on Shabbos. So now basically, a Nozir that has his hair, the hair is Kodosh. What does it mean Kodosh? Gidulo hiye Kodosh. Whatever grows during his Nazirus, all the hair will be Kodosh, which means what? Just like Hekdesh. Which Hekdesh? Any Hekdesh. Animals, items, whatever was designated for Beis HaMikdash, we already know has Me'ilah. You can't benefit from that. So too, the hair of the Nazir is compared to that, to Kodesh items, and therefore you cannot benefit from that. Like the Gemara, Ima Kodesh Tefes Domov, V'yoytze Lechulin, Af Se'ar Nozir Tefes Domov, V'yoytze Lechulin. Wait, if you compare Se'ar Nozir to Hekdesh, to Hekdesh items, if so, wait a second. Are you telling me that just like Hekdesh, you can easily redeem? Yeah, we all know. If the Hekdesh is Baal Mum, the animal has blemish in it, Mum, no problem. You can take the money, take money or another animal and transfer the Kedusha. The animal will be Hekdesh free, and the Kedusha will be transferred on the money or the other animal. Can you do the same thing for Se'ar Nozir? Can a Nozir say, okay, I'm taking the value of my hair. My hair is very valuable. A shetelmacher would buy that hair. Seriously. If so, maybe my hair worth thousands of shekels. It's nice, long, flowing hair of whichever color. I don't know. It's a big Nozir. And what? Maybe that hair, I'll change the value for money. The Kedusha will go to the money, and their money will be Kodesh. I don't know what you'll do with it. It'll be Kodesh. And Se'ar Nozir will be free, and I'll do whatever I want with it. I'll sell it to Shendi the Shetelmacher for $5,000. Can you do that? Maybe like Hekdesh. And says Gemara, no. It would have been a good idea. No. Mi Karinan Kodesh, Kodosh Karinan, which means, although the letters mentioned in the Torah to describe the Nozir are Kuf Daled Shin, that can be confusing. There are a few ways how to read these words. Is it Kodesh or Kadosh? It's different. Kodesh means holiness, Kodesh, right? While Kadosh means holy. One of them is an abstract noun, the other one is an adjective. The Gemara stresses here, Kodosh adjective, he says, only he is Kodosh. Kodosh means, an adjective means I describe something, This Gemara is burgundy, right? I'm not saying this Gemara is, that's not even a good example. This Gemara is the adjective, it's red, it's burgundy. The hair of the Nazir is Kodosh, and it's not Hekdesh. We don't say Kodesh, which means Hekdesh, which means holiness in general, which is comparable fully to Hekdesh, but we say no, the Nazir itself, the hair is Kodosh, and that Kedusha will never go away from that. Rashi says, Kodesh Shem Kedusha. Kodosh mashma hu kodosh, meaning only the hair is kodosh and the money will not be kodosh. It's like the Torah says, koi kadosh yeh, not it has kodesh in general, and that kodesh can be removed to money or to other items. It is kadosh. This and only this has kedusha in it as an adjective, and it cannot be removed to money or anywhere else. So it's similar to hekdesh, but not fully. And therefore, if you remember, what did the Mishnah end up with? Remember, what were the last words of the Mishnah? That if the person exchanged the nozir or any of the items into money, mekadesh a woman with the money, no problem, because the money is not kodesh. It's a game, it's a joke, it's nothing. If I say I'm transferring the kedusha of the nozir on money, you can take the money and be mekadesh a woman with no guilt feelings, simply because the money is not kodesh. Because all these items in the Mishnah are not items of which the kedusha is transferable. That's why Avodah is not mentioned in the Mishnah. Nothing can be Kaddish with the Zorah. Because Avodah Zorah is even worse than Hekdesh. It's not transferable, it's contagious. If you take the Avodah Zorah Shmuda Duda ball, I don't know, doll statue, and the value goes onto money, the money will be Osir, and the Avodah Zorah will remain Osir. The both will be Osir. Yeah. Okay, that's why it's not mentioned, because it's more severe than the rest of the list. Okay. Yeah, your next trip to Thailand, don't buy a statuette. Yeah, I'm joking now. Nobody here. Yeah. The Peter Chamor, yes, Rabbi. Question time, commercial. Yeah, it's very nice. The Peter Chamor. Now, what did we say? A guy wants to be Mekadesh, a woman with a Peter Chamor, with a donkey. Aret Mukadesh Li, with his donkey, Kedas Moshe V'Yisrael. That's headlines. That's news, right? Can he do that with a Peter Chamor? What's a Peter Chamor? The firstborn donkey, yeah, of a female donkey, yeah, the firstborn. Either you redeem it with a seh, yeah, for a talef, for a sheep, or you behead it. They do it nowadays also. They don't behead it, they do the pidyon. They do it in Israel, in America, in England, you know, yeah. The Petach Hamo, Nema, Mesnisim the local B'Shimon, L'chor, our Mishnah that says that the Petach Hamo is Otter Bano, our Mishnah seems not to follow the opinion of Rabbi Shimon. Which Rabbi Shimon? The Tanya, it says in the Brisa, in Bechoros, Petach Hamo Osur Bano, Diva Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says that Petach Hamo is Osur Bano, Rabbi Shimon Matir. Rabbi Shimon allows the Petach Hamo Bano. In other words, Petach Hamo, anyhow, nobody's going to eat a donkey, it's also to eat. But maybe Hano, yeah, maybe Hano, you can benefit from the Hamo, from the donkey. And Rabbi Shimon says it's okay. It's Mutar Bano, right? So whatever the source is, our Mishnah is not Rabbi Shimon, which is not the end of the world. Rabbi Shimon is a Tana, but is that so? Is our Mishnah not going with Rabbi Shimon? Omar Nachman, Omar Abba Baravua, Le'achar Arifa V'divra Kol. Let's make peace and include Rabbi Shimon in our Mishnah. You could say as follows: the argument between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon was Petach Hamo prior to the Arifa, to the beheading. If it wasn't yet beheaded or redeemed, of course, then we have the Mechloikas Mutar Bano Osur Bano, and Rabbi Shimon says Mutar Bano. If you follow Rabbi Shimon, he can go to the wedding hall with a live Petach Hamo and Mekadesh the woman with Petach Hamo. Whoa, that's grand, no? According to Rabbi Shimon, it's fine. According to Yehuda, it's not. Why did the Mishnah say that you cannot do it so categorically? You know why? Because the Mishnah spoke after Arifa. The animal was beheaded. The animal was beheaded, and that was already the end of it. At that point, even Rabbi Shimon would agree that it's Osir Ba'ano. Why? Says Rashi, because he learns over there, Maseches Bechoros, he learns Arifa from Egla Arufa. We all know that Egla Arufa is Osir Ba'ano even before, when it's alive. But Egla Arufa is Osir Ba'ano. That's been established already, right? Egla Arufa is like Hekdesh. It's Osir Ba'ano. Arifa. These are two animals in halacha which get beheaded: the chamor and the egla arufa, the calf. Yeah, and therefore, just like that one is also bano, so to this one after Arifa is also bano. So our Mishnah could be talking that he's giving her a dead Petach Hamor. He's giving her Petach Hamor after he was ne'eraf, and then everyone agrees it's also bano. You think she would accept a dead donkey beheaded? Well, I don't think she'd like either. But in any event, even if she wants to, but it doesn't work because it's also bano. Absolutely, right. Yeah, Western style. Basar b'cholov. Here we go. Yeah, some people, you never know. Basar b'cholov. Listen, today have such crazy marriages. This is good already. Basar b'cholov. Basar. Oh, let's go mainstream. Let's go now to more things we're more familiar with. Yeah. Basar b'cholov. Yeah, mixture of milk and meat. Yeah, a cheeseburger or I don't know, whatever, some kind of stew of butter and meat together, goulash with butter. Yeah, the basa b'cholov, the guy's mekadesh, the woman with basa b'cholov, is she mekudeshes or not? Says the Mishnah, no. Why? Because basa b'cholov is also ba'no. In Holland, how do you know? How do you know basa b'cholov is also ba'no? How do you know that you can't sell it, mekadesh, benefit? The Tana Dever Bishmoel, the Braisa says on behalf of Bishmoel, Lo tevashel gdi b'chalev imoy. It says how many times did it say in the Torah, don't cook a kid in its mother's milk, b'chalev imoy. Gimel pomim. By the way, I know a lot of people find it hard to understand. How did we get from gdi b'chalev imoy to any milk and meat? So the Meforshi explained. So the kid, when we say kid here, we mean a goat. Yeah. Gdi is not only a kid of one type. Gdi can be a young animal of any species, by the way. Even though a young cow is usually called, the calf is called egel, but the Meforshim proved that Gdi can apply to any animal. Yeah. And Chalev Imoy doesn't necessarily mean the mother's milk. It means, in general, milk that is normally produced by the mother, right? Now, the Chalev Imoy means a chalav which is normally produced by mothers of calves should not be mixed with the calf's meat. It does mean its own mother dafka. It's speaking in a more picturesque way. This is the superficial way to explain it. There are deeper ways which I don't even know, but that's the Pashup Shah. It says 3 times Gdi b'chalev imoy. Don't cook milk and meat together. It says cooking. What does it mean cooking? But why 3 times? Echad iso achila. 1 time it's coming to tell me you're not allowed to eat it. Echad iso ano. Blink, 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 blink. Iso ano. You cannot have benefit from it. Echad iso bishul. What does it mean iso bishul? You can't cook it. Is that called hana? No. Let's say cook it, and what happened after I cook it? Throw it in the garbage. Let's say I'll give you a good example. You're a Jewish person, you're Baal Tshuva, and I'm not joking, and you're teaching in a very fancy cooking school, chef school in Paris. Yeah, that could happen. And you want to teach them how to cook milk and meat. You're not benefiting from it. They're not paying you extra. They're not even applauding you. Nothing that is defined as a no, even that's not called a no, doesn't matter. You're going to cook it and finish. Maybe they'll eat it, maybe throw it in the garbage. You're not allowed to. The mere cooking as of itself is also. Yeah, a Jewish babysitter is babysitting for Goyish kids. Prince Bela is babysitting for Tim McKenzie's children. Oh, what a shit. Yeah. Nachas v'shalom, she's a frum girl. So now Prince Bela babysits, and little Rainbow Mackenzie is asking her, I want cheeseburger. Is she allowed to put a cheeseburger in the microwave? Yes or no? No. She can't put in the microwave the cheeseburger for little Rainbow Mackenzie. Why? It's also to cook, as of itself. But the main thing that we care about right now is what? We care about the Issurey Hana'a. One of the 3 times is for Hana. So you can't benefit from Basar B'cholov. You can't be Mekadesh a woman. Now continues the Gemara. Mesnisin Deloki Aitana. That Mishnah, or our Mishnah, which is telling us the Basar B'cholov is also Ba'ano, is not following the opinion of the following Tana, the Tanya, Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda Omer. There in Chulin around Kuf the Svav Zayin, it says there, Basar b'cholov osor b'achila, umutar ba'ano. According to Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda, argues, and he says that one is allowed to have hana, benefit from Basar b'cholov, not maybe on a regular basis, yeah, but you're allowed to have hana from Basar b'cholov. Sheneemar. How do you know? Why is that allowed? Because it says, Ki am kodesh atal Hashem Elokecha, lo tevashel gdi b'chalev imoy. Okay, very nice. You holy people, don't cook, the gdi b'chalev imoy in his mother's milk. Well, halon hu oimer, and further on in the same pasuk, it says, not in the same pasuk. Excuse me. No, I made the same mistake yesterday. In a different place, it says later on, much later on, it says there, V'anshi kodesh tiyun li, which means one pasuk, V'anshi kodesh tiyun li, is in Parashat Mishpatim, and that talks about not eating treifes. You're not allowed to eat basar treif. an animal that was terminally ill, right? Shechted. It says anshe kodesh, and it also says the word kodosh, which is similar. Where by both the becholov. That's not the hekesh; it's gzera shova. Kodesh kodosh. We compare the prohibition of nevela treifa, actually treifa, to the prohibition of both the becholov. You tell me, people. Tell me, nevela v'treifa are osir bano, mutar bano. Mutar mefurish. That's the one mefurish, black and white. It says, give it to the dog, give it to the nochi, give it to the nochite. It's mutar completely. Sell it, give it to your dog. It's enjoyment to give it to your dog. You're saving a meal for your dog. I'm not joking. Yeah, you don't have to buy it in the supermarket. Yeah. And now what? So now we see the comparison. Malalan also bachila mutar bano. Just like when it comes to nevelis and treifes, you're not allowed to eat it, but you're allowed to sell it. Afkan also or any other hano. Afkan also bachila mutobano. So too, boso becholov, you're not allowed to eat boso becholov or cook it, but you're allowed to have hano from it according to Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda. Just to be on the safe side, that's not the halacha. Just I'm saying, don't try it at home. As they say, la halacha shulchan aruch clearly paskin that I learned it. 3 Issurim apply: eating, hano, benefiting, and cooking are all osir. What I told you was about chicken. Oif with cholov, Rabbanon were not goyzer bishul. Rabbanon were goyzer. Rabbanon added not to have chicken and milk or cheese, whatever, together, cooked, even uncooked. That's exer the Rabbanon, chicken and milk. Masha Einken on cooking and on possibly hano, they're not oyster. Could be debate, but definitely according to some opinions, you can cook it and you can. So if you're a chef in that place, you can cook the. I'm saying ask your rabbi. I'm not sure, maybe different opinions, but generally speaking, that's what I remember. That oif and milk, the oif is chicken. Chicken and milk you can have to not have chashon. You can cook together. Okay, the chulin Rabbi Gitztin question time. Yes, line. Okay, so there was a question asked over here from the Chushev Peanut Gallery. You're asking here it says kodesh and here kodosh, which we mentioned before, not the same. How can you do Xerashova? Xerashova, it says a few times in the Gemara, does not have to be grammatically equal. Not at all. Yeah, no. Yeah, sometimes the words are different. As long as they're similar, it's good enough. Absolutely. We see it time and again. And sometimes the Gemara points it out and the Gemara says it's still okay. Sometimes when it's debatable, the Gemara says it's a lower kind of Xerashova. But as long as nobody debates it, it's a good Xerashova. Yeah, shorish or similar, similarity. Yeah. But it's nice. I like your perception. Very good. Now, I would say that now we have arrived at the main part of the meal, of the forbidden meal, of the treifa meal. We have now arrived at the main part of the. What I'm trying to say is that the issue we're going to deal with now, I think that's one of the most major places in Shas where it's discussed. Yeah, but this is the star place of this in Shas, and the topic is welcome to the new topic: the chulin shenishchetu ba'azoro. Oh, what's chulin shenishchetu ba'azoro? A person took an animal which is very nice, no blemish, beautiful, amazing, the best looking sheep you've seen in your life. Yeah, it's the Miss Sheep of the world, a beautiful sheep, beautiful cow, and he wants to shecht it la Hashem with all good kavanos. He's the frumest guy in the world, but he did not consecrate. That's the word of the day. He wasn't makdish it to Beis Hamikdash. This beim has a status of starts with a chet. It's the name of a masechta. Hulin. Hulin, it's a regular animal. It's very nice, very kosher, very pshi, very absolutely perfect and intact. But it's not kodesh. It wasn't sanctified. It wasn't consecrated. It's hulin. And you come, you shecht it in the azara. What do you say? It's okay, good, bad, mutter, allowed, not allowed. What's the vote? What? Oh, sir, you're not allowed to do it. We're going to actually have a quite heated debate later on, not today, whether the Issa is the Oraisa or the Rabbanon. Unbelievable, because many people think it's for sure the Oraisa. It's not. It's a question whether it's also the Oraisa or the Rabbanon. Today, we're going to see extensively the opinion that says it's also the Oraisa. Where do we find these introductions are important? I'm telling you now. I'm trying to ease you into it. Where did we find what I would say the mirror or opposite is to the other side of the coin? You're not allowed to shecht something that's unholy, mundane, and regular chol in the azora. What about the other direction? Anybody's getting me? Am I allowed to shecht Very good. Kodshim outside. Oh, the rabbi answered, you're not allowed to shecht kodshim outside Beis Hamikdash. Let's say I did consecrate, I was makdish an animal, obviously should be brought to Beis Hamikdash. I don't have koch to start going to Beis Hamikdash now. Erev Pesach, you think I've time for Beis Hamikdash? I'll build my own little mizbeach here, park alone, such a nice park, and I'll bring a korban LaHashem. Really, I only need to do it to Hashem. I'm not over with the Zohar. I'm a nice guy. Is that allowed? Not allowed? Where does it say anything about it? In Parshas Achrei Mos, soon after the Parsha of Yom Kippur, the Torah speaks very severely, and this all I'm telling you is important, that if a person shechts or does anything else to do with korban, it's all drosha, shchita, kabbalah, ilochos, rikavah, Torah, eating. If you do any of those, you bring a korban outside Beis Hamikdash. By the way, it doesn't have to be parka alone. It could be literally half a centimeter outside Beis Hamikdash, even in Yerushalayim. Yes, outside Beis Hamikdash, right? Even in Har Bayit. Outside Beis Hamikdash, you shecht an animal. It's mefulish in the Torah, black and white, that it's an Isser and it's an Isser Kores. And it's also Bano. It's an Isser Kores, and whoever does that, the Torah calls him a very nice title, a murderer. A person who shechts an animal outside, which is Kodesh, outside Beis Hamikdash, it's tantamount to Shvichus Domim. Wow. And some of the Meforshim say what the vegetarians are saying, that if you shecht an animal outside Beis Hamikdash, you can't benefit from it. Hashem can't benefit from it. Why do you kill the animal? I saw it in one of the classical Rishonim. Unbelievable. You shecht an animal outside Beis Hamikdash, which is Kodshim, right? It's a very severe thing that's an Isur Koros. Masha'inkan the other way, Chulin Ba'azara, what we're about to explore now, the Isur of shechting secular Chulin animals inside Beis Hamikdash is not written black and white. If you don't know the Meforshim and the Gemara, right? If you just read the Bible like, I don't know, Father O'Reilly or Rabbi Julia, you just read the Torah like that, you will not find anywhere outright black and white the Isser of shechting regular secular animals inside Beis Hamikdash. That we don't know. We're trying to explore because the Mishnah is wowing us, telling us what? Not only it's also to do the meat that is a product of that, you cannot be mekadesh a woman. You can give her a nice steak. No, it's also ba'ano, also ba'ano. And of course, the question is, how do you know? So now, after this introduction, we're going Ezras Hashem to explore this issue of chulin shenishchetu ba'azor. The chulin shenishchetu ba'azor, minani mili. How do you know? How do you know that it's not allowed b'chlal? How do you know it's not allowed ba'ano? What's the story? Amar Rabbi Yochanan mishum Rabbi Meir. Amar Torah. Now, Rabbi Yochanan says, Rabbi Yochanan is giving us simple human logic, nothing proven, a logical idea, a logical kind of binyan av maybe. Amar Torah, shchoit shali, the word is shali. Shchoit shali b'shali, v'shalacha b'shalacha. Hashem told us, let's keep our territories separate, right? Like Lahavdil, Avram told Lot, I live here, you live there. And sometimes you tell people, let's say goodbye and part as good friends, right? You shecht my stuff, my animals in my sanctuary in Beis Hamikdash. As it says in Parshas Vayikra, you shecht the animals inside Beis Hamikdash. B'shalcha, and you shecht your animals of chulin in your place. It says in Dvar Yud Beis, once you live far away from Yerushalayim, in your gates, in your place, shecht your meat. Okay. And we continue. Mashali b'shalcha osur, just like shechting my stuff in your territory is osur, meaning when you shecht kodshim outside, kodshim shenishchitu b'chutz are very osur, murder, kores, af shalcha b'shali osur. So too, your stuff, your regular animals which you bought in a stam, a regular animal, chulin animal, in my territory is also osur. Okay, basically some kind of mirror image, some kind of logical comparison. No gzera shava, no kol v'chomer, just some kind of regular idea of keeping the boundaries. Says the Gemara, wait a second. Wait. You like that comparison so much? Wait a second. Let's continue the romance. Let's say what? Just like it's chorus, as I told you, to do what's chorus? Kodshim b'chutz, holy matters, the holy animals outside Beis Hamikdash is an Isur chorus. Will you tell me that chulin ba'azoro, secular animals in the base of Mikdash are also caused? Is that so? Yeah. That do we know? Well, why not? Omer Kra, it says in the pasuk, "Vel Pesach oil moed lo hevio l'hakriv korban laHashem v'nichras." That pasuk in pasuk in Parshas Achrei Mois tells you he did not bring it to oil moed to be a korban. Then it's an Isur Kores. It's an extra word korban. Everybody knows that we are doing oil moed is korbanos and not ala esh of Yom Ha'atzmaut. We all know that this is korbanos, right? So why did it have to say the extra word korban? To tell you, to be memai, to exclude al korban onush kores, al chulin shenishchutu ba'azor, ein onush kores. Very good. Okay, very nice. Which means the Torah is using the extra words to tell me only on a korban that is shechted where? Outside Beis HaMikdash. You shechted the very nice choshuva korban that is mukdash in Harnelf or in Beit Vagan or in the Shemesh or New York, all the same. He shechted there, chorus, as opposed to, and the Torah is stressing extra words. But if you took your animal from Harnof, Beit Vagan, New York, and LA into Beis HaMikdash, regular chulin, it's osir, but it's not onush chorus, right? On the chorus, there's like an exception. Now, really, now the Gemara is really has prepared us a trap. Now we're in a trap without realizing. Because as I stressed to you before, the whole idea of comparing the two, right? The two misplaced, let's call them this way. There are two misplaced animals, yeah? We compare them, not in any proven way. We said it's just logical idea. Once you have a logical idea, as heilige as they are, just a logical idea, once you have a pircha, once you have a logical way to disprove it, the whole thing is gone. The whole thing is kaput. And that's exactly the question. The Gemara is now asking, wait a second, Ikalamiflach. Now we can break the whole comparison. Now we can kill the whole tzushtel, the whole comparison. How can you, Rabbi Meir, tell me a simple logical idea that just like kochim b'chutz is osur, so tuchilin bazar is osur? How do you know? Maybe only kochim b'chutz is not allowed because it's chores, but the one that's chulin bazar may not be asur at all, because you're telling me also it's not onush chores. So maybe if it's not onush chores, maybe it's allowed, or maybe it's not asur ba'ano at least. Right? How do you know anything about it? Therefore, Abaye brings us a whole new source, and we're going to stay with that source for now. I have a different source to tell you that when it comes to shechting regular chulin, regular animal inside Beis HaMikdash is not allowed. He's learning it from a whole different source. Now it's sourced in the words of the Torah, not just our own idea. And that is from last week's Parsha, Vayikra. What does it say over there? If you notice when you do Shnai Mikra, I'm sure you do Shnai Mikra, the second korban mentioned in the Torah, and I'm talking about Menachos now or Bikurim or stuff, the second korban mentioned in the Torah is Shlomim. Oila, then Shlomim. After the other one, yes. I said korban as opposed to Mincha. Zeva. Right. There is before that there's Mincha, you're right. There's Oila, then Mincha, then something else, then you have Shlomim. The second korban, Zevach, animal, that's mentioned as the in the Torah is Shlomim. And when the Torah talks about Shlomim, it gets quite verbose, and it kivyochol, and it says v'shochtoi, v'shochat oisoi, v'shochat oisoi. 3 times the Torah is telling me that I have to shech the korban. I got it the first time. So why is the Torah telling me 3 times that you have to shecht the korban in Beis HaMikdash, the korban Shlomim, or any other korban? There are 3 extra psukim. Ma Talmud loymar. Why is the Torah telling me these 3 psukim? Lefi, and soon you're going to see that it has to do with Chulin Ba'azorah. But before that, we bring another pasuk for Chulin Ba'azorah, and then we'll connect everything. Lefi Shene'emar. It says in the Torah, I think also in somewhere in Yudei Yudaled, towards the beginning of Dvorim, it says Ki'irchak mimcho hamokoim v'zavachto. It says when you should know that the Torah has to write for us a special parsha to allow us to shecht regular meat and eat it at home, not in Beis HaMikdash. What do I mean? In the times of the Midbar, there was no such thing of somebody who lived in the Midbar. However, imagine yourself a family living in the Midbar, the head sheep, right? The head sheep, the head goats, can they just for supper, or don't ask me about the man, that's another question. Yeah, they don't like just the man, they want something else with the man. So they want to shecht not korban, they want shecht meat, kosher lemahadrin, and eat it. Yeah, roast it and eat it. No, you're not allowed. In the midbar, you're only allowed to eat b'sar kochim. Yeah, if you brought a korban, shlomim, let's say, then you eat the meat of the shlomim at home. Masha'inken, or not at home, the machna levia, or whatever, you eat it machna levia actually. But you're not allowed to eat what's called b'sar taiva. The basar of taiva, of lust, of just for fun meat, just for the barbecue or for the supper, you're not allowed to eat meat. The Torah is mechadish to us. When you come to Eretz Yisrael, the place called, what's Mokoim? The Beis HaMikdash. If the place, capital T, the place will be what? Far away from you. You live in Kiryat Shmona. May they all come back home soon, yeah? You live in Beersheba. You live far away from Beis HaMikdash. What do? The Torah allows you to be zoiveach. Zoiveach doesn't mean korban. You're allowed to shecht, or you should shecht, and eat at your own house, or your own home, your own environment. Yeah, but that's a chiddush. And what does it say over there? If you're far away from Beis HaMikdash, then you're allowed to shecht and eat your own chulin, your own regular meat from the supermarket. Now with darshan, you're only allowed to shecht the animal and eat it, your own secular animal of chulin, far away. As opposed to where? Inside Beis HaMikdash. Rochak and Korov doesn't only mean the Galilee or the Negev far away. It means to say only when you're outside Beis HaMikdash. But if you are inside Beis HaMikdash, there you're not allowed to shecht your own regular secular animal. So that is the source. Mazel Tov, we have arrived at the first source, not clear, but very strong drosha in the Torah that tells you chulin only b'makom rochoik, far away can be a centimeter away from Beis HaMikdash. That's called far away, meaning it's not inside. As opposed to inside, we're not allowed to shecht your animal. Now, didn't we speak a minute ago about the 3 times it says where is that? Continues the drosha. The only ela, had I only have one posuk there in Dvorim about shechting far away or nearby, I would have said, if I would have only one posuk that forbids me from shechting regular animals in Beis HaMikdash, how do you understand the Isser? I would have said like this, listen, the same animal that could have been, what? Shechted in Beis HaMikdash, as kochim, don't bring its equivalent, its competitor, in the chulin team, don't bring the equivalent in chulin and shecht it over there, right? And this is, by the way, halacha. I'll ask you a question. Chulin are also ba'azara. I'm asking you a question. Are you allowed to bring a banana to Beis HaMikdash and eat the banana? Maybe it's disrespectful. I don't know about eating Beis HaMikdash inside. That's another question. Are you allowed to bring a banana to Beis HaMikdash? The answer is yeah. I mean, as far as I remember, from many years ago, so in Toysers doesn't say banana. It says other fruit, yeah? Things that would never be even remotely connected to korban, you can bring to Beis HaMikdash because they're not the chulin version of the korban. Get what I'm saying? You're not allowed to bring that should have been a korban. Don't bring it in a secular form. You have to first makdish it. Are you with me? If so, say, wait a second. So only if the korban is, as I described to you before, tomim. What's tomim? No blemish, intact, beautiful, perfect. Then the one that's supposed to be on the mizbeach, don't bring it as chulin. Let's say the animal has a blemish. Now, don't get confused. As you know, an animal with a mum, you're allowed to shecht it for your own meat. It's not treif. It has a little thing in the eye. It's not a problem. It's only a problem for kochim. Very good. So I would say, wait, balimumin are anyhow not runner-ups for the mizbeach. They're not potential in mizbeach, the balimum. So maybe balimum I'm allowed to shecht in Beis HaMikdash. Maybe it's like a banana. It's anyhow not meant to go on the mizbeach. So maybe I can bring the chulin and shecht it there because I feel like. Maybe. So now before we go into the psukim, which are waiting in the corner, the v'shochtoi, we start with the svara. Merabe anyes balimumim shekenmin hakosher, not machshir, shekenmin hakosher, which means balimumim, although the balimumim are not good for mizbeach, but the type of animal, the species is a good species. Let's say a sheep, a goat, a cow. all these are meant to be on the Mizbeach, even though the Bali Mumim, it's still called the min, the type that goes on the Mizbeach. And therefore they're included in the Isser, just Misvora. They're still close enough to the idea of Korban that they're also Osir. Minayin Rabbos is a Chaya. Ooh. I want to ask you a question. If I really want to bring a really beautiful animal to Beis HaMikdash, a deer, a female deer, a doe. Can I bring Can I bring a deer, a female deer, a doe to Beis HaMikdash? Venison. Yes, yeah. What are you saying? No. You're not allowed to bring a chaya to Beis HaMikdash. It's not a good korban. Korbanos are only brought from behemoths, not from chayes, as we learn in this week's parsha. Why? The Torah doesn't want you to chase far away in the field for animals to bring to Hashem. You bring to Hashem something available. So now, what about if I want to shecht a chaya? I want to shecht a deer, yeah, a heart. I want to shecht a heart in Beis HaMikdash. It's kosher. Am I allowed to shecht in Beis HaMikdash because it's nothing to do with korbanos? Yeah, a deer and a heart are never allowed to be brought as a korban, right? So maybe that is something which I can shecht as chulin because they're out of the parsha, they're not connected. Answers Gemara, no. There's a svara to include them in the group. It's not a very strong svara, and I would say there's a common denominator between chaya and behema. What's chaya? What's behema? Chaya is a wild animal. Behema is a domesticated animal, like sheep and goats. Yeah, they both share the same shchita. The shchita is the same. The shchita is mufurish in both, and the shchita is two simonim. You have to cut the same way exactly the two pipes, the air and the esophagus. How do you call it? Yeah. So now that's what you have to do. So they're also in the same group. Soon we're going to. That's what we say now. Minayin Rabbos is the oifos. Ooh, I want to bring a chicken to Beis HaMikdash, or even a dove. A dove, let's say chicken. Chicken is never brought in Beis HaMikdash, and also the shechita of chicken is not mefurish in the Torah. We learn it Baal Peh, but it's not mefurish in the Torah. So maybe the oifos. How do you know that they're not allowed to be shecht in Beis HaMikdash? Talmud Loimer. Oh, here we come. We ran out of svaras. Chicken are so far, so remote from any normal behema or korban, yeah, and therefore now we're not going to use the svaras anymore. We're going now to use those three psukim that were waiting in the corner all the time. Remember the three extra psukim at the beginning of Vayikra Bat Shlomim, the Shochta, V'Shochat Oisai, V'Shochat Oisai. Each one will teach me something. Talmud Loimar, V'Shochat V'Shochat Oisai, V'Shochat Oisai. Which means, here there's a big machlokas, Rashi, Toisas, Bach, the whole thing. Basically speaking, yeah, I'm reading Rashi's original version. Rashi says we have regretted what we said up until now. The svaras we said up until now were okay if you don't have a pasuk. Once we found a pasuk, we prefer that. Which means we have one pasuk from the Shochat to tell me about chaya. There's a pasuk, not just my own svara, that chaya is like a behema. A pasuk v'shachta to tell me that only kosher todshim should be shechted inside, excluding chaya, excluding a deer or a hart or a giraffe. Giraffe is a chaya. I'm not joking. It's kosher. The chad leoifois, one for the chicken, or doves, which are chulin, which shouldn't be shechted inside. The chad and one, which we're going to see later, for telling me that it's also to eat. What about bali mumin? Says bali mumin, I can learn from my own svara. Because bali mumin are very, very similar to korbanos. What's a bali mumin in the air? You have two behemoths. One of them has a tiny blemish in the corner of the eye. You need half a microscope. One doesn't. They're really very, very much the same. Same species, same type, same everything. They're twin sisters. Elamai, one is kachim, one is not. That is already included. But behemoths, but chayas are different species. Chicken, they're very different. And therefore those, you need special pasuk, shochta v'shochta, to tell me that those two are also to be shechted in Beis HaMikdash. What's the third thing? The third shochta is coming to tell me, as we're going to see soon, the prohibition to eat it, which means this is very, very slow. This is slow cooking over here. All we have proven up until now is what? You're not allowed to shecht the item, yeah, any kind of behema, chaya, oif, inside Beis HaMikdash, it's chulin. Oh, I'm so sorry I did it. Oh, maybe I'll get malchus. Maybe I'll do kapara. Who says it's also to eat? We don't know that yet. We're not looking at the previous svara. It's a whole new world. Maybe b'diavad it's edible. Many things b'diavad are okay, right? True. Somebody shechted an animal on Shabbos b'shoigeg, real shoigeg. For the rest of the world, it's mutter in there after Shabbos. Yes, the other people, not for him. It's also, but the Eved, you did it. Maybe it's mutter, maybe it's allowed to eat. And therefore, the Gemara continues. Yochol, first white line. Yochol lo ishchot. You know what? I gave up. I accept it that you can't shoichet, can't shech the chulin Beis Hamikdash. Bein shochet mutar. But maybe if you shechted it, it will be allowed b'di'eved. Maybe b'di'eved the meat is allowed. Not every Isser creates an Isser b'di'eved. Talmud loymar ki yichak mimcha amokoim v'zovachta ve'ochalto. Heard me? V'zovachta ve'ochalto. The same original pasuk that spoke about regular behema, good behema, the original behema that's good for a korban, told me if you live far away, and far away can be a meter outside Beis Hamikdash, you should doidach and eat. You're only allowed to eat those animals that are chulin, which you shechted in a chulin place in Tel Aviv. You're not allowed to eat the chulin that you shechted too close for comfort, which is Beis Hamikdash. But lechulin shenishchetu ba'azoro, chulin nishchetu ba'azoro, which ones? The ones that are tomim. If you have a good animal, mamish, a perfect behema, perfect cow, sheep, goat, and you shechted it in Beis Hamikdash, you flunked. Oops. But the Eved can't eat it because with the vachta v'ochato, the outside. If you did an inside job, you can't eat it. But again starts the whole chadgadia, and again starts the whole ma'isa. Then tmimim, aroim lekorev. Maybe that issue of eating it, but the Eved, oh, you ate it, it's straight. Maybe that's only true about a good behema that is no mum, that is perfect, no blemish. It could have been the perfect thing for the mizbeach. You didn't bring it to mizbeach. Naughty boy, don't eat it. Oh, how do you know balamumin are the same? If I brought an animal inside and a shechted inside a behema, good for mizbeach, but balamum, so it's not good for mizbeach. So how do you know the b'diavad you can't eat it? Kosher, exactly the same mahalach. Because it's the same type, the same species that can be brought, just as a tiny blemish, it's very similar to the original desired thing. You did it in an undesired way, you can't eat it. Uminan l'rabis is a chaya, same mahalach. How do you know to include chaya, which is a completely different species? It's a giraffe, it's a whatever, a gnu. Merabeni is a chaya, she b'shchita kebehema. Chaya is the common denominator. It's the same shchita as behema, taking a piggyback. So, behema is for korban. Chaya is also to be chulin ba'azor. Minal Rabbi says oifos. Oifos is too far because oifos is different kind of shchita. Talmud loymar, again, as we said before, shochta v'shochat oiso v'shochat oisoi. So really, we have all three now to tell me osur b'achila. Osur b'achila on behema. On osur b'achila on balimumin, chaya, and oif. Now, I know we have to finish. I'll just prepare for tomorrow. The next question will be, it's a slow process. So far, we're inching our way through. We have discovered you're not allowed to shech chulin in the Beis Hamikdash. We've discovered you're not allowed to eat because it says, maybe you can sell it. How do you know it's also ba'ano? Not everything also b'achil is also ba'ano. Hem is mutar ba'ano. So maybe chulin ba'zo is mutar ba'ano. And that's going to be the issue tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Wednesday. Metz Hashem on Wednesday. And Be'ezras Hashem, we're doing very well with the pace. And by the end of the week, we'll finish the perek. We'll be finishing Rabbi Yisrael Be'ezras Hashem, the second perek of Kiddushin. 2 out of 4 prokim. Shprin Tabel will get married, divorced, married, Yavomo. She has a lot. She's going through a lot, the poor girl. And when Tim McKenzie is McGuire again, maybe he'll marry. A good day to all our YouTube viewers and participants. Thank you all for coming. It's also amazing to see you every day here. And thank you to those who watch us on Torah Anytime. Amazing website. Atzlacha uvrocha.